Hooray!
We have a session.
Alrighty,
We're back.
we'll jump quickly into a recap. Whoever wants to go for that.
L'Oreal got kidnapped or something. We're investigating. Guards have interviewed everybody. We meet a whole bunch of the lead guards, including the captain in this town. There were some Ash Gang insignias on some of the thugs. L'Oreal did have some trouble with them directly a while back, though they do also do shady work for hire, so as of now, not too sure what it might be about. Um, there aren't any mages in town who can be called upon for any sort of tracking or divination magic of any kind that would make this easier,
At least on short notice.
at least on short notice. However, there is a lead in a tavern near the second bridge called the Bloody Nose.
There was a lead.
There was a lead. We're getting there. Anyhow, the town is currently quiet, kind of on semi-lockdown, but festival is tonight and things are gonna get rowdy no matter what. Killian ended up scouting the tavern first. Namiya charms one guy outside, gets us in. There's an immediate fight. Chili Beans, unfortunately, went poof. Turns out, probably familiar. Probably. The boss and one thug remained conscious at the end, and pretty much the boss surrendered once he saw that his entire bar full of minions kind of got used to mop the floor. So that is where we left.
This place probably needed a floor mop.
Oh yeah, I think it needs a bit more than that, I expect.
So, we pick up in the Bloody Nose. Yep, you've handily dispatched this group, and you've appropriately tied them up. I don't believe you killed anyone, which is good.
Yeah, we were
And
kind of told off for that.
Yeah.
probably after all your investigating of the bridges and making your way over here and the fight, I'd probably say we're probably getting onto maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock into that, starting to get to late afternoonish, and you know that at some point there's supposed to be a kind of small celebration at the end of the day. So you're probably running out of time to go about the town unimpeded.
Killian's right in the back of the bar.
Eating the back of the bar?
Raiding.
Yep.
Pillaging.
Okay. Yeah, no, there's all manner of alcohol. You have your pick.
Yep. Yeah, he'll just like, if there's any bottles, he'll uncork one. If there's any casks, he'll just kind of take a mug from it.
Mostly bottles under the counter.
All right. Yep. He'll just pop one, drink it, walk over. I assume we've tied up the conscious guys as well.
Yes. So yeah, so the last two conscious would be these two. I'm gonna go ahead and move Bastion out of the way for now. You'll plop them down at this table in the corner.
What's the status with Pat and the other guy?
I believe Bastion knocked him out at the end of the session, so they're kind of just slumped in the corner.
Okay.
I believe.
Did a good number on each other too, so.
We caught that guy that went running as well, right?
Yes, that was this guy.
All right. And he is certainly unconscious. Killian made sure of it.
Yes, actually, let me just mark this down so we all know. No one is dead, but definitely unconscious.
Gillen will kind of walk over and just kind of look at the two who are still up and just. So, do you have any actual information that'll get us anywhere, or is this just a admittedly fun sidetrack?
Did I lose? I think I
See.
fell out again.
Oh. I think so.
Hello?
Hello?
Sure.
Hi. I think you cut off for me. Do you have any actual information?
Yep.
And then that was it.
To say again. And then Killian walks up to the two still unconscious, and do you have any actual information we can use, or is this just an admittedly fun sidetrack?
See the smaller one look to the boss, and the boss just kind of like very lazily looks towards you. Is like, well, got some information for you. Tell you where to stick that sword. And he kind of like looks away from you.
Killian kind of glances like, looks like you got plenty of places.
He doesn't respond to that.
Look, you're smart for laying down arms and not getting a few extra scars on that pretty face of yours, but quite frankly, the lawmakers are gonna wring you boys dry, and if not, I certainly will.
Kind of like poses a little bit. It is my best feature, and I'm not too concerned with them. I'll be out in a matter of days. No
Well,
worries.
how long do you say we have, Killian, until the law comes in? A couple of minutes, maybe an hour. I don't know. I'll try a persuasion on him. Maybe an
Well,
intimidation, since it might be
long
a little bit
enough.
aggressive.
Long enough that even if we don't kill him, I'm pretty sure we can remove one or two things he probably values greatly.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean,
Okay.
you can gladly see, if you turn and see your comrades here, and I give one a pat with my leg, that we have quite an ability to not let them go and continue hanging on for a bit.
I'll
So-
say with Lena's help, you can give me an intimidation check.
Yeah.
At advantage. To readily mop the floor with them.
Oh, that
Oh,
was
bloody
bad.
hell. How, Bard, how?
Yeah, that was super low, I guess. Oh, that's 7.
He you see he has a look of concern for a moment at you, Lena, but he's like, nah, you guys are too goody two shoes.
Killian steps forward and
Right,
kicks him in the
and
face.
and she steps forward and kicks him in the nuts.
Several bashes later, it's like, all right.
His curb stomping this dude.
He coughs a bit, and you see him like recompose himself. Like, she's still in the city.
Good.
Insight
Where?
check.
You can make an inside check.
14.
Seems to be telling the truth. I mean, you have a very big threat of beating the crap out of him if he's not telling the truth. So
And what about her moving? I mean, we might think she's still in the city, but for all we care, she could be on the edge waiting to be taken. So, are we looking at
you see him.
an extended stay here, or do you think we might take to other weddings in other towns?
You see him lean forward a bit as he like tries to stare out, like maybe a window on this side of the wall.
Lena
He's
will
like-
take his shoulder and push him back against the wall.
He kind of winces in pain at it. Lee, she's still here, and he kind of like tries to like shove it off and regain himself again. There's several plans. I'm not in charge of how it goes, so
So who is?
you know. And just shrugs like, I just take orders.
From? You gotta have a grapevine somewhere. You gotta talk to someone with a face and a name.
You do have the face of someone who just takes orders.
I like that one. Okay.
Killian looks over. I like that one.
you get a there's a chuckle from the one next to the boss, and he just like shoots daggers at him. He's like, I get all my orders via paper.
Do you
Um,
keep these orders?
We're not idiots. Of course not.
Hmm. I could have sworn you were. That's a shame.
Could have fooled me.
Look, the
And in the meantime, you can read.
look, I get my orders are signed from this group called Brazier Holdings. That's all I know.
Ah, looks like he's got a peanut rattling between those ears after all.
How that's
Where's this?
written, by the way?
Is that a company? Is that a place?
Like Russian?
Brazier, like
Brazier.
something you would find ash in, perhaps. Would Lena have had ever have heard of that?
I was gonna say, do we know about that? Can we roll to know about if that's a thing
You
at all?
can roll history,
History?
intelligence based.
Got history. I don't have
Yeah.
history.
16.
So it doesn't sound like any like big company or anything that's operated in the area. Lena, you know you've made the rounds through a good part of the region, and it's not familiar to you.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it does seem very clever with the Ash comparison.
I got no
Right.
idea, but I'm sure our friendly guard friends will know.
All right. What was your latest set of orders?
Honestly, it was to come here and have a drink.
Really?
Best set of orders I ever got.
The ones before that?
Couple guard duties.
Guarding.
People, merchants, trading, going from one place to another.
Marks.
Right. Okay. You're going to explain how you know she, quote unquote, is still in the city and any other details about that.
Obviously, you can't get out of the city like this.
Is it really that obvious?
Have you seen the gates?
Oh, so what you're saying is if they had any secret routes or techniques for moving past them, you weren't high enough in the pecking order to know about them.
I'm just here to keep the idiots that come looking distracted.
Ah, good to know. She's gonna just go ahead and slam his head into the wall once more and head towards the door. Killian,
Ah!
will him for anything else. I'm getting the guards.
Killian just kind of like puts a boot on his, knocks the chair over and like puts a boot on his cheek.
But not the face! As you're kind of like squishing his face to the ground. So, if you have any other questions, you can ask them, or Lena could return shortly with the guards.
Killian just kind of like rough him up a bit more, see if he's willing to divulge any further.
You rough him up, but he doesn't really seem to be withholding anything. Even on serious threat, he's like, all I know, dude. All I know.
Does
Killian
anybody want to search the bar and him just in case he was an idiot and didn't burn something?
Gillian looks over and it's like, "You wanna turn this place upside down there?" He looks to the other two.
Sebastian will help look.
Sure. See, I know. Jump
And while they're
over
doing
the.
that, Killian will kind of like
I know.
keep that guy on a chair and then like set his buddy over to the left of him aside and hand his friend a drink, but just kind of look at him.
Okay.
just kind of
So like,
sit there.
so you tied their hands, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
Phil-
in
I'm
front.
pretty sure that I was outright said that the boss ended up in manacles because we
Yeah.
were lent some.
Yeah, but Killian will just kind of like put a tankard up to the other guy's mouth.
No, the guy will readily drink.
I'll check out these rooms down. Remember.
Yeah. On just a cursory glance, it's storage room. You find a few casks. A handful of food. The other room, I know it's not decorated or furnished, whatever, but the other room is kind of like a kitchen type deal where they
Huh.
can make some small things. It's not like a full meal type of kitchen, but some minor snacks here and there.
Huh.
Knives, cooking equipment, stuff like that.
I'll poke
Of
out
course,
my head out the door and say, "Okay, this doesn't look like there's much to it."
You get that side of
if
the room, I'll get this side of the room. Check pockets.
so, um, I would say this would probably be investigation. Investigation. You guys
Uh,
are pouring over this place.
Killian is specifically like checking through all like the pockets and belongings of any of the unconscious or otherwise.
Okay, yeah.
Investigation as well. I'm not great at that. 5.
Ooh.
I had to roll 2.
Bastion will. Yeah, if anyone who's looking. Ooh.
Oh. Yeah.
Bastion sees nothing.
Bastion's like
Yes,
blinking out of existence with the AOL sound.
um, so you go through their pockets. You find basically like a purse bag on all of them. If you care to take their money, you can probably gather a silver amongst all of them.
Killian will take that silver because he
Um,
lost a silver to Bastion.
Yeah, it's actually, I would say it's 100 copper, specifically 100 copper pieces
All right.
scattered amongst them. And then you do find, random like personal effects, nothing of any serious value.
He'll leave those on them.
Yeah. Some
Daggers, or
daggers.
yeah, he'll put those in a pile.
Yeah. Yep. So any hidden weapons, you take those away. But there doesn't seem to be any notes or any other indication of what's going on. Nick.
Yep.
Nemia. Sorry, Nemia. So you go around the room. You do find a lockbox under the bar. You go back through the rooms and you find the start of what looks like a couple of notes,
Oh.
like order notes, but it's more, it's like escorting, and it's like blank, this individual to blank location. It's like a very like bare bones start of what would be contract orders. Complete.
Is it incomplete?
Incomplete. Like it's
Okay.
like a bare. It's like a template basically.
Huh.
Is this more for like the caravan kind of thing they were doing?
This looks more like typical Merc orders. Like, oh, you'll be going here. Here's your orders.
Yep. Okay.
So that does they look that like they actually write these things here, or is it like
Um,
just a simple template that repeats
it
because
looks
if they
these look
are
handwritten. Um, so you take it that these might be more of like the day-to-day stuff, like the Ash King is known for escorting people for
Huh.
typical merc work. So this these might just be written on the spot or as needed.
okay. Huh. So he might actually be telling the truth. And I'll go back to Killian and show him a paper.
And there's also there's a lockbox that you found under the bar.
Oh, a lockbox. Okay. See,
Is it locked?
here have this an an interesting piece of evidence. I'll keep the lockbox for now.
Is the locked box locked itself? Hello?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Did we lose an Eric?
You there?
Oh, sorry. Yep.
Yep.
Just lost me for a second.
No problem.
Okay. The lockbox is locked. Yes.
Okay. And Killian didn't find a key on anyone?
No, you did not find a key on anyone.
Huh. I actually don't have lockpicking. Any sort.
Oh,
How tough does the lockbox look?
it's it's mostly wood with reinforced with metal. Like the lock is metal, and it's got like metal on the corners, but it is mostly wood.
Can he like take one of the daggers he took off a guy and just kind of try to hammer it in and kind of pop it open?
Athletics.
Right.
I'll give it to you.
19.
We've got no rogue to
Cool.
pick our locks.
Yeah, so you go to like try and gently put it in there, and you give it a good jab, and the dagger just goes like straight in under the lid. Then you can just pry it a little bit, and it just like pops off. Side, you find a um, a few jewels. So each about worth a silver piece. Nothing fancy, just small little things.
All right.
And you find another little coin purse inside. Seems to be a good amount of coins in there. You can count it out later, or now, whichever. And then you see a stack of papers. A lot of it looks to be ledgers for this business. One of the papers, though, does detail that are here and a designated amount of time that they are supposed to be here for. Keep any guards or people looking into it at bay for as long as possible.
Killian kind of looks at it and chuckles like, "You suck at your job." And just kind of like kicks out one of the legs of the chair and has him fall over.
Hey, which he falls to the ground, and he looks over to the one to his left, the one that's still awake. Like, which fucker didn't burn their paper? And the other one just like shrugs, like, "It wasn't me."
Yeah, put it in the flimsy piece of shit driftwood lockbox. I'll keep it safe here.
Okay, so
This will be a nice one. All right. Are the guards back yet?
Is signed Brasher Holdings. No, there's no like logo or anything. It's just that's how it's signed.
Yep.
I'm sure by this time the guards Lena can bring the guards back. Then they'll start to gather the people together and transport of these folks to a more secure location.
Looks like you're going downtown. Have fun. Pat on the shoulder.
See you in a couple days.
Hey, you want a rematch? Let me know.
Anytime. He like makes to like like hold his arms up in like threatening motion, but then he's got the manacles on. He's like, shit.
Kind of like flicks him on the nose and like kicks him out the door.
Yep.
Evening, gentlemen. I believe this is yours.
They nod and they get all of them and start taking them away.
You wouldn't happen to know where one of your captains is currently staying, would you?
One of the guards is like, no, but
All right, we'll
they're-
just head back to the
the-
main place then.
it should be there.
Yep. Don't try to sound too important now. Well,
He's trying to not be noticed whatsoever. He's like, fuck my life, I hate this job.
all right. Well, I got some nice little bits. Well, Skull found it, but I popped it open. Kind of like throws the hands the paper, hands the papers over to Lena.
She'll glance through them. Is there anything about the running of the bar itself that looks like it would be interesting for the guards? At a glance.
Surprisingly, no. It seems to be a well-kept ledger of business.
All right. Then she's just going to leave that there and just take the one contract paper, or rather, that would have been handed to the guards bringing them in.
Oh, okay. Yep. Makes sense.
Is Bastion in that same room with Lena?
Yeah, we're all still here.
Okay. Can he just, because he's got pretty decent like accounting and business management knowledge, can you take a look to see how this business was doing or what was keeping it afloat?
Okay. Looking
He was
at the
trained in
ledger.
this.
Yep, nope, that makes sense. Yeah, looking at the ledger, this business probably was not doing well. It looked like it was making enough to keep itself afloat. The condition of the place, it looks like it needs some work and hadn't had some work done on it in a while. So that fits the bill.
Was it being supported by any outside income, or was it just from making money as?
According to the ledger, no.
Okay.
But what's on paper, no.
Okay.
But they probably wouldn't have that on paper in the first place.
No, I know, but he's gonna just kind of keep track of what the like average prices are of the stuff here, how much they report
Mm-hmm. Okay.
making it on the average day. Just maybe he can cross-reference that later.
Sure. Take note of that. We can go over that later.
All right, should we head back? Let them know what we got.
Yeah, sure thing. Should we do we have another lead after this one?
I mean, unless these guys take the juicer to their lemons, then we're not getting any more out of them.
Do we have anything else to go after for now?
No.
No. We
If
hope
he's
to
being
grace their
straightforward
holdings
with us, she's still in town.
For how long is the question.
We got Brazier Holdings. We can look into that.
I mean,
See if the
we can see if they haven't take her out of the city by now. The exits might be pretty well guarded.
there is possible that the guards have run into Brazier Holdings before and not been able to put the word play together. You never know.
Hmm.
Seem about as competent as that.
Right. We'll head back to wherever.
You head back to the manor,
Yeah.
where Captain Quinn is kind of waiting in the makeshift war room. It doesn't take long to get back. And, you enter and you find Captain Quinn. He's sitting, at the war room table, kind of. You see him, he's got handfuls of paper as the reports have been coming in, and you're trying to parse out all the information they have to figure out what's going on. In the room as well is Cedric, the burned one that was very snooty towards you all.
The one that doesn't like Killian.
Sorry, this is a guard, right?
Yes.
Evening, gentlemen. He
you all-
knocks on the door frame.
Quinn holds up a hand and he's still going through his papers, and Cedric will motion for you to come in. He'll say, "Well, find anything?"
A dead end.
Not quite, but not as much as we were hoping. Seems you, well, you got the bare minimum information. They were sent there specifically to lead any leads towards them. Didn't do a too good job of it, because, they went up against us, but that being said, looks like your sources are...
Have you ever heard
Not
of
too deep.
Brazier Holdings?
See him kind of shake his head no. He looks towards the captain. Captain kind of keeps reading, says, "Not a name I'm aware of."
Right.
It's
Well,
supposed to be.
that's where the decoys got their orders.
Probably a front. If the, brand,
Braziers and ashes.
if the branding's on point.
If they're operating in the town, then their business will be on record, probably with the guild house. Perhaps you can go check there to see if Treasure Holdings rings a bell.
Oh boy, we get to do taxes?
Is there anyone you'd
Something you're
recommend
not
who can-
accustomed to, rich boy?
He shrugs. Hey, there's a lot of things that suck in the world that I'm not gonna be complaining about not having to do.
See the captain kind of shuffle some papers around, and he pulls out a quill. And you see him quickly jot down a note, and he'll hand it to Cedric, and Cedric will wrap it up nicely and do the little wax thing with the seal. And he'll give it to you and says, typically, only a guard, or almost always specifically the captain, can inquire about these things. With this note, you should be allowed in and can ask any questions relevant to this investigation.
Maybe give it to that
And-
one, points to Lena. Much more believable.
I trust you know what you're doing, as he kind of holds it out.
Lena takes it.
And if we go in there, do you have anyone you particularly trust to work quickly with this kind of thing? Or someone you think might know best?
You see him think for a moment, and give me just a second.
Okay, might throw in anyone we can talk to cut through the bullshit and actually get something done, rather than waiting 3 to 5 business days.
That's what I'm asking there, Killian.
Well, if you're lucky, you'll still catch someone there. They might be leaving early to start the festival. But you see him look over his shoulder at the captain, and the gnome should still be there. He's always there. And so Cedric turns to you. Yes, you can ask for Enidon. I will put that in the chat.
Okay.
Thank you.
But he probably still will close up shop soon, so you might want to
We'll go quickly.
hurry on over there.
See ya, Cap. Walks out.
Lena's already going.
Cool.
And just to go back to reference the map.
Takes a while for the
Ye-
back to load, so I keep thinking it's just like a bunch of colored lines. I'm like, okay.
So you know the guild house is or well, you'll know where it is. So here it
Oh.
is. It will be
28.
28.
We've got a long way to go because we're over at like
Hey.
7.
Not terrible.
Yeah, just kind of.
Terrible. But you do need to make a brisk pace over there.
Yep.
Yep, Killian's going for a jog.
I'm gonna say to
So-
Mr. Speedy over there, hey, you want to take a detour? With you being so fast, Killian, it shouldn't take you too long.
He kind of like looks behind him. We've had enough detours so far. What do you want?
I mean, we'll be going at our own pace. You're faster, so if you want to just maybe give one more jog through the neighborhood in question, around there, couldn't hurt.
Or I could get there quicker and make sure we don't miss the person. And he just keeps going.
Okay. What is the plan?
Killian is making it as quick as he can to the guild hall.
So I'm assuming it's not like a full-on sprint. But
No, but like a good jog.
Jog / speed
good
walk.
job. Okay.
As
Okay.
my character, whose name I forget right now, passes by this area. Look, it's me, y'all.
Yeah.
He's going to kind of take a more casual, slow pace, and just keep one more eye out for anything that might set off even the slightest alarm bell, or just anything that might give a sign to the Brazier Holdings.
Okay. Sure. Just make a perception check.
Your character's name is
On your
Bastard. I
way.
mean Bastion.
Oh, come on, this is the one character I'm playing who isn't a bastard.
Exactly.
As far as we know.
That name probably describes I can't speak. Describes Killian and probably also Lena better than Bastion.
As far as I know. I mean royalty, like either way for Killian and Bastion are the same, but I mean Bastard is never completely out of the question.
So, Bastion, you're doing like a quick look through, nothing too in depth, nothing stands out. Yeah, nothing crazy. So let's see. Killian, you would get to this little fountain, correct?
He's on the lookout for a
Okay.
gnome.
Give me a perception check.
Lena's up there as well. Can she perception?
Keeping
or
pace? Yeah, go
Yeah.
for it.
help? Oh bugger.
Fucking
Okay. Yeah, no. Okay, you guys make your way to the guild house. You make it to the door. It's open. You can freely go in.
Mhm.
Nemia and Bastion's catching up. Nemia, what are you doing?
I'll follow them with
Okay.
questions.
That's fine. So Killian and Lena, you are in the chapter house. It looks to be, you can tell it is what would be end of business day, as there's not a lot of people here, and there's even one person kind of just sweeping up. But you do see behind one of the desks is this very word for it. He's a crotchety old gnome. You see him going through a handful of scrolls and papers, and he'll occasionally stop and write something down. Just seems to, be going about his business, not paying attention to you guys at all.
Would you be Anadon?
Yes, unfortunately.
He's
Well,
been the wise one.
unfortunately, there's guard business, and you might be the person who can help.
Recommendation straight from the captain.
Put the scroll down.
Where? Yeah, he's like he's like seems like he's about to ask you for it. He's like, oh, okay. He takes it, does a thorough look at it, and he's like, fine. What do you need?
Ever heard
Way
of
very angrily.
Brazier Holdings?
Rings a bell. Let me check one minute. and he hops down off of his stool, probably perhaps a bit too big for him. And he walks off into the back, and you see him. There's this kind of this large bookcase with all sorts of papers and books, and you see him kind of looking through.
As he's
he,
going,
he
Billy's
slides.
just giving a glance at anyone else like still working here or being here.
At this point, it's just that the one guy sweeping seems to kind of just like head down, avoiding you guys, trying to like get done with the day and get out of here.
Hey, what's your name? No, I'm kidding.
He looks at
Okay,
you,
okay.
and he just
Yeah.
like takes the broom and leaves.
Can like Bastion like kind of walk in as he goes to leave?
As you get to the fountain courtyard, you can make a perception check. Same for Nemia.
Sure.
Let's see. Pretty well.
Bloody hell,
Okay.
oh, good.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Bastion, you kind of just stroll through and heading straight towards the guild house. Nemia, as you're about to go in, you kind of overhear like this argument going on, and looking across the way at like kind of this, it's not quite a house. It looks like it's part of a house and part of this like makeshift temple built into the side of it. In front of it, you see this kind of simply dressed lady, um, probably in this full robe. Looks to be sort of like a religious figure, almost is the best way I can describe it. So it's a simple robe, but it's got little nice decorations on it here and there to signify um, some religious nature. And she's talking to this very rough and tumble looking dwarf. Um, for lack of a better way to describe it, compared to some of the thugs you have already apprehended. And
Okay.
he had his voice raised. That's what caught your attention, and she like quiets him down, and like they're having this quiet discussion between each other. If she happens to notice you watching her, and she'll kind of escort him inside.
Oh, she does notice me, or if she happens.
So she's talking, and it's like she's trying to keep him quiet and like make sure no one is paying attention. And she notices you have like
Oh. Huh.
staring at her, and so she kind of like ushers him inside.
Okay, that's strange.
And you
And
said
you said
he
the
kind.
place.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You said he kind of looked like a Ash Gang? Like they have an insignia on him, or is he just kind of that same
No,
cut?
nothing out in the open, but he had that same kind of style. He looks like a merc, and it's
got-
similar in nature enough,
He's got bad attitude written all over him.
basically.
Bastion made aware of this, or just kind of we passed by.
Yeah. Is he?
Three of us are currently oblivious.
But Bastion was
Yeah,
Neither
with
Bastion-
is
Nemia.
up to you.
Yeah.
We were close relatively.
I'm just wondering if Nemia brings it up at all. If not, it's fine.
Yeah, I will. I will continue to look at the little churchish house. Something. It by the way you described it, it looked like it was like building with a church side hustle thing on the side.
It's basically what it is. It's like there was a house. You can see the original where the house was, and then someone added on to it. Like it's this nice wood house, and then there's like a lot. There's this like mostly stone addition that's would resemble like a small church.
Okay, I'll continue to look at place, at the odd situation, and I'll tap Bastion on the shoulders and say, "Do you think a mercenary could seek redemption at any point of his life, or does it seem weird that they are actually talking to the church lady and having a fit?"
Yeah, it seems like he's not quite the most charitable of churchgoers. Shall I head in there and, well, explain to him what the charity spirit looks like? Or should we go meet up with the other two?
I mean, I think we can take a look. Would you say you go in since they didn't quite catch a glimpse of you uh bowling your eyes over the whole situation? It might be a little bit suspicious if I go. And if I hear that you're in a rough patch, I'll come in and save you.
Well, if I'm in a rough patch, I'm not quiet. You'll hear.
Yeah,
Uh,
fair enough.
Bastion will kind of look up to the church. Any kind of symbology on it at all?
There is there's no signifying, like there's no specific icon, token, anything that designates who this is to.
Okay. In that case, I'll have him kind of display his older holy symbol, the one he kind of originally made himself. Kind of display it on his chest, straighten up his clothes. I'm gonna knock on the front door. And kind of slouch his shoulders, try to look as unimposing as he can with his frame.
And armor.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, we will come back to you in a second.
Sure thing.
Okay.
While they're waiting,
Anadon,
I was gonna say real quick, while they're waiting, Killian might look over Lane. It's like, okay, one, you don't gotta tell me information or anything. How long ago were you part of whatever is getting you that rank and pull?
She shrugs, kind of tilts her head, seems to be thinking. Not very long, maybe a few years. Don't really remember.
You don't remember?
It all runs together eventually.
I mean, yeah, after a while, but 2 years? Maybe?
She shrugs again.
And he just shrugs along with it.
Might have been a bit longer. I don't really keep count, alright?
I mean, that's what calendars are for, but hey, whatever.
Calendars.
Anadon, like, here it is. He pulls off a book and he, scurries over back to the table and slams it down. He flips it open a little bit and you see him. Yes. They own 4 properties in the town and they pay their taxes and everything is good.
4 properties, huh?
That's correct.
Where are these 4 properties located?
Okay. You see him he kind of bookmarks the page he's on and then he flips to the front and you see he has there's a makeshift map, not as detailed, but it has kind of
Killian looks, why did you number
region.
all of the houses?
They're keeping track of their businesses. Okay, so he's like, they own. You see him flipping back and forth to get it done.
Can you
Sorry,
maybe
one second, guys.
draw things on the map instead of just pinging it so we can remember later?
Like little blue X's or something, yellow X's.
Little orange squares or whatever.
While we're waiting for Eric to
I'm back.
read his notes. It's okay.
No, I got distracted with cookies.
Oh, that's a good
That's
distraction.
yeah.
But yeah, I just want to say out of character, I so look forward to us figuring out this mystery so that we can have a good character sit down and just get to know
Beat the crap out of each other.
Well, that too, but get to know the characters. Because I want to know about you guys.
I'm trying to find little spots for it.
For the record, we're still going off my notes for session 1.
Hey.
Woo!
Wait, you thought we'd get through 2 combats and roleplay in 1 session?
I changed it up second, like for the second session, I was like, oh, well, we're already in this. Let's go. But the
Okay.
first time around, yeah.
Oh, because that is that's some dreaming right there. No offense.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
would
fine.
say Eric.
Live
I
and
would
learn.
say, Eric, don't you know better? But then I realized, no DM knows better. We all have too much hope.
Yep. Yeah.
So
I know
Killian,
the
Okay.
feeling.
Killian leans
So-
over the desk. Where's it?
He's getting all the locations. And so the first one is Red Door Antiques. And he goes back to his list and looks it up. It is this little building over here in the northeastern.
Ah, I've scrolled down too far. Where?
To
34?
make it easier for you guys.
Hold on. I'm getting a little orange daughter maker.
Tomato, you got?
I got it.
Okay.
Yep. 34.
All right. And then next is Tennyson's Curiosities.
Please tell me it's number
Is-
10.
You won. Over here.
Okay.
Eh.
I'm also writing notes, so
I'll do the
Third-
map then.
okay.
Then we have Oakleaf Shop, which is 26.
Hey, it's right there.
There it is, yeah.
Bastards are right beside the card place. I got some
Oh, no,
cojones.
That's not
The
our
captain
place.
is holds up in the Castellan Manor. So it's just some rich guy's house.
Yeah,
Okay.
that just happens to be the place where the crime scene went down. He's
Okay.
temporarily hold up there.
The
Yeah.
last building is the Bloody Nose.
Hey.
And of course,
Which number
Oh,
is that
you
again?
seem to be familiar with that. That's 3.
All right. Yep. There we go.
okay.
All right. We're knocking the closest one first, right? Okay. What do each of these guys do?
We obviously know the Bloody Nose is a tavern. Red Door Antiques, antique shop. Anything else?
Correct. Nope, that's correct. Mostly antiques and
Do they
he's,
specialize in anything?
collects a lot of rare things. Sometimes he's got some strange people coming in and out dealing really rare items, but nothing crazy.
Tennyson's Curiosities.
I don't know how he's still afloat. He sells random knickknacks, stuff you sell on the street to kids. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know how he's still in business.
Oakleaf shop. It's a fancier
Nice.
area of town.
It's a general goods store, more or less.
General goods. All right.
Well, here we'll preempt your bookkeeping here. They might be fronts for crime organization.
Taxes. I don't care. And he goes to put it back.
The thing is,
do
they
anything
might
else?
not be.
You get money every month. We're okay. You're square in my book.
All right, you might have to strike him off the list then. He shrugs. Anything else we need?
I think that's going to be what we can get. Actually, is there a head of this company? Any particular name this is under as a primary caretaker or a board of directors or anything like that?
That's a good question. Let me check. See him, he flips back to the page and he pulls off a reference number and he sticks the book back, grabs another book off the shelf. He thumbs through that for a little bit.
Wasn't it
Pulls
to
out
be
a
like
paper.
ash charcoal or something?
Oh, this is. Do any of you speak Gnomish?
No.
Nope.
Oh, roughly translated, his name is Eat My Behind.
And you didn't catch this when you...
I did not file this
Ah,
for the record.
Ah, you might be losing
Well,
an employee soon too. Fun.
I take it back. Feel free to.
Feel free to. Sorry?
Do what you will with them. You can't mess with records.
Hmm.
Fucking Captain Eat My Shorts or whatever. Hi, Lord, kiss my ass.
Right. In light of that information, is there anything else you think that might be of interest to us in our investigation, especially knowing that it involves kidnapping, potential smuggling of a person out of the city?
Are these guys purely based in this place, or do they have any branches outside?
We don't keep note of such things, but hold on one second.
You know, keep note of income or trade from their other
We
places
we don't
outside.
we keep track of their taxes based on their work here. We don't keep track of any holdings outside the city.
Hmm.
But Tennyson, he was late, and is historically has always been late. He actually recently paid off all his dues.
All of them, huh?
Wasn't too large a sum, but more than he usually sells.
How recently?
Perhaps a few days ago.
All right. We will go and look into that. Thank you.
Pleasure.
And then she looks around. Did you see Bastion and Nemia come in?
No, they should be here by now, even the armored one.
Great. Head out
And we cut back to Bastion.
Knock, knock, hello.
Okay.
Jehovah's Witness.
You hear a little bit of shuffling inside, and eventually the door opens, and the lady answers. How can I help you?
Forgive me if I'm mistaken. I'm not from here. This is an area of prayer, right?
That is correct. I have made my home open to all who would seek guidance.
Must I pray to the same deity, or is it open for anyone who wishes to have peace and
I
opportunity to pray?
welcome all, but the Veiled Mistress is my patron of sorts. And we all encounter death, one day or another.
I feel we could have an interesting chance to meet them. I believe of a creator. Never really speaks of destruction. I'd be curious to see how they might interact. Might I come in?
You're cutting in and out for me pretty bad.
Oh, sorry.
Just me?
You're a bit quiet there, Conrad. Me at least.
Yep, sorry, it's just the headphones I'm trying to use.
Turn you up
I
a bit.
believe in a particular kind of creator god. We don't speak much on of death and destruction and what comes after, so I'd be curious to see what I can learn from you. May I enter?
Oh, you see her kind of look around a bit, and she's like, "Well, I have a ceremony to lead soon, but please come in."
I'll do my best to
And you
be
see
as
her opens the door to let you in.
respectful as possible. And he'll kind of, as he steps in the door, very make himself wide, such that if Nemia wants to move, now is the time.
You gotta block the door a bit.
Yeah, I imagine he doesn't really have to try that hard.
No,
I
he
hope.
doesn't.
Do I have to roll perception to get my cue, or is it
If you're paying attention, you'll get the cue.
okay?
Second, and like stretches a little bit. It's kind of obvious.
And just as I step in, I'm gonna just, with that, cast guidance onto myself and enter.
Yeah, so Nemia, you can sneak closer. There is kind of there's a separate door into the church area and a door into the house area. So you could, feel free to, sneak to the other one, or whatever you want to do.
Sounds like a good attempt.
Just yeah, you kind of sneak your way over. You don't think she saw you. Bastion was taking up most of the doorway. But yeah, you make your way over. You could easily like step inside real quick, and it's empty. It looks like it's set up like a typical church. There's a few rows of pews and like an altar at the front, but nothing crazy. And then a door to the inside. Bastion, you enter in, and it does very much look like it's someone's home. So there's a nice table. You can see where the door to the church would be, and you can see that it's kind of carpeted enough that you see probably people come through here a lot. She seems to take a lot of people into her own home. Look my notes. Simple. It rather spacious though. She says, "Can I offer you anything to eat?"
The simplest meal you have. I don't want to, I wish not to be a burden.
No burden. Perhaps just some bread though, as I do have some other place to be.
I'll take it thankfully. And is there anyone else in here?
What?
Is there anyone else in the room?
Doesn't appear to be. Yeah, so she kind of like ushers you to the table. It's a rather long table. You imagine it could fit a good 12, 14 people.
Okay.
Seems to be very, like I said before, taking in a lot of people. She brings you some bread.
I have 12 people almost at the same time.
It brings you the food, and you can make a quick perception check if you'd like to just look around while she's preparing this for you.
Yep. And it might be more about listening in than actually looking, but
It's a mercenary with his feet sticking out from behind a curtain.
I'm gonna roll my guidance.
Okay. So there doesn't seem to be anyone, like nothing's out of place, nothing to suggest that someone is hiding or anything of that nature. There's no previous plate of someone having sat down to eat. Out of the ordinary. Something that does catch your eye though is a sword that is mounted on the wall.
Oh no, Bastion's about to get horribly distracted.
This is why I figured you would see it. Here it is.
Either it's that or a kind of church that probably would be more of Killian's style.
Is a longsword. The handle it's rather nice and ornate looking. About it the most is the blade itself is black.
Ooh.
It's out of some sort of material you are not familiar with at all.
And I know you probably can't answer it. This isn't like Evender's sword, is it?
You're cutting out, man.
This
I'm
isn't
missing half your
Evender's
words.
sword, is it?
Yeah.
So I don't know about anyone else, but I can hear Conrad fairly well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's Yorick.
Dang it.
But you're actually not cutting out for
Yeah,
us.
you get like the very occasional cutout, but you're pretty fine right now for us.
Evender's sword. Though you would have no way to know that.
Okay, good. In that case, he'll
She
kind of...
brings you a plate of bread.
Oh, good. He'll kind of break it in half and leave a piece for her if she so desires, and says, you said you have a ceremony.
Yes, there is a ceremony to kind of close the end of Soul of Summer and June to bring in the harvest season. It is a tribute to life and death and the natural order of things.
The next step in the cycle.
Be quite a large gathering of people at the graveyard to the south this evening, if you would care to join us.
And are you just performing preparations right now?
If you're, sorry, let me clarify that. May have cut out again.
Is it preparations you're doing right now? If the sermon is in the evening.
Oh, everything is prepared. It is not extravagant. It is not a lavish feast like there will be tomorrow. It is just a small gathering and a prayer and a chance for people to kind of some comfort and release for loved ones that have passed since the last year, and to know they will be going on to a better place.
Can I ask for your advice? Then I've recently lost a friend as well.
Of course, I do not have long, but I do not wish to rush you in this.
She kind of nods and takes a bite of the bread, and as he does so, he's going to cast guidance on himself once more. I've a dear friend of mine, Alan Edmonds, and he's watching her very closely as he says the name. Seems he was killed on his wedding day.
If, okay, so roll an insight to see how she reacts.
Right.
But before you roll your guidance, I'm also going to need you
Yeah.
to roll deception.
That's fair. I mean, is he lying?
Pick which.
He's
We
not
don't
lying.
know, Alan.
You said dear friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are misleading at the very least.
Okay, fair enough. And I'll throw this onto the insight. Oh, okay.
Okay, so she seems to, you see a look of sadness on her face as she recognizes your loss, and she says, "Oh, yes, that wedding is so unfortunate, and you were here for the wedding then. I'm so sorry. I do hope they catch whoever was responsible. I imagine I will have to.
I don't understand what Alan did.
Soon.
He's always seemed like a rather kind, if quiet fellow. Never really made much of an impression on people. What could he have done that was so deserving? What do you got?
It is death comes for those at not at the best times, and even the best of men will fall before their time. It is just one of the many mysteries we must accept. I think you should come to the ceremony tonight. You might be able to find some peace in what transpires.
He'll nod. May I use your chapel to put a prayer out?
Of course, it remains open for all. Of course, and she'll kind of guide you in that direction.
He'll kind of look over his shoulder to see if he can see where Nemea is.
Cannot.
No? Okay. In that case, he'll kind of step in, take as much of a glance around the room as possible, see if there's anyone else inside the chapel,
Okay,
particularly
so
the dwarf.
Nemia, did you actually go inside, or did you just peek in?
No,
Oh, in
yeah,
the
I,
chapel?
I
Oh.
I sneaked in.
Okay. Yeah. So if
Not
you
quite
want to look
well,
around for,
so you can probably spot me if you're looking around.
yeah, go ahead, Bastion. Make a, a perception check to see if there's anyone hiding. Hey, look, there's Nemia. Just kind of like
As you're
half
looking
hiding behind a
around,
pew.
you see a purple cloak, purple
Yeah,
How does he
not
golden
hidden
I
very
don't
shimmers.
well.
think she's gonna hide like that.
You see the priestess is like, oh, another guest. You are welcome to stay. I do have business to attend to. Just take your time and do think about joining the festival, as she says to you, Bastion.
Oh, stand still. Scooby Doo got caught style, and then try to fake at my best at like leaving a copper at the whatever thing they have for
Okay.
collections.
Yeah, there's definitely a tithing donations area. It's just thank you, and she's like, if you excuse me, I do need to lock the doors. This is my home too.
Okay.
So she'll kind of usher Bastion out of the way to close the door and lock it behind you.
I'll look at Bastion and mouth the word shady.
He's just gonna look up like, you think? And he's just gonna mouth back, the name, he's gonna go, Elena. He's gonna just mouth it back, and then he's gonna head into the chapel with her.
No, you guys are in the chapel right now. Like
In
she's
that case-
basically like you're in the stone addition part, and she's locked off the door to her main house.
Oh.
Oh, is she in the chapel with us?
She was talking to you, and
Okay.
then she left.
Suspicion does not keep us out.
right. We're not locked in.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
I thought she
so
was
the
there for
chapel's
locking us in the chapel.
Oh no,
Yeah.
sorry, my bad. No, because so there's two doors. There's a door to the outside, and then there's a door further into her house from the chapel perspective. So you came in, you went into her house, and then you went in the door from her house to the chapel.
Okay. Makes
Got
sense.
it? Two different
Yeah.
entrances. Yeah.
In
Yeah.
that case, once they get in there, he's gonna basically ask. And he didn't see anything else with the perception check, right?
I guess you was like a small little altar in the corner, probably more for personal use, but it is an image of this kind of this to steal some description here. Hold on. There's kind of like this little raven statue sitting in the corner. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. It's like this kind of small, off to the side little altar for her. You would recognize you recognize the Veiled Mistress. It's one of 8 gods that kind of are widely recognized in the realm.
Okay. And no sign of recent traffic?
It doesn't look like. I mean, this area is well used, but you don't see any signs of someone like having just been here aside from Nemia.
Okay. He'll kind of look at Nemi and be like, that dwarf I think might be gone. Though I am going to put in a quick prayer too while I'm here. He'll just kind of,
Okay.
he'll just kind of stand over the altar, close his eyes, hunch his shoulders, focus for 30 seconds, a minute, and turn back around and go.
I,
Let's keep
on
the
the other
present
hand, no, go ahead. I, on the other hand, expect to keep my inners and my organs to myself in this kind of place. So, if If it doesn't bother you, I'll wait for you outside.
Sure thing. And he'll leave, if there's a place for it, just like a single stick of incense on the altar and head back out.
Yep, you see leftover bits and signs of that, so easy enough. You can regroup with Nemi outside. I imagine right about this time, Lena and Killian are stepping outside the Gill House, and you're just standing across the way from each other.
Where the fuck are?
Sure.
Ah,
Gonna head down, meet up with them in the
What
middle.
the-
Got a little sidetracked.
Yeah, we saw. Figured you guys already had it handled. You were ahead of time and had the note, anyways.
Mhm.
Found a bit of a suspicious pair, but when I
Of
entered
note, there is starting to be a crowd of people. Like occasionally, a person here and there will walk by as everyone's kind of walking south.
We're gonna have
So
to
it's
move
not you're not
fast.
quite alone.
So
it kind of just saw a suspicious pair, but when I went inside to investigate, couldn't find the other one.
we have 4 fronts.
one, maybe two, seem like key locations. We've already checked one of them. Frankly, I want to send word back to the guard captain.
If we can
So-
send word back to him, then he could probably deal with the one that's right by where he's staying.
Exactly. Seems like a convenient place to hide people and stage this entire thing from.
And then we can hit up the 2 north spots right after each other, so they don't have a chance to get word out.
Honestly, I'd almost want to hit the one that's got the very suspicious influx of money first,
Yeah,
just in case that influx means. Right.
I agree.
As you're
Who
talking,
has- Does anybody have paper?
Basketball pellet with like a whole ream full.
As we're talking.
as you're talking, more and more people are starting to exit their homes and make their way south. It's not everyone, but you do seem to think that this is a very popular part of the festival for people.
Not everyone's going to be in their
You'll
stores
see
forever.
people. Yeah, you'll see people carrying like small goods, like little trinkets here and there, little bits of bread. It looks like people carrying offerings. You even see kind of this cart roll by, kind of full of it has a couple boxes. It has all sorts of little knickknacks and flowers, and it looks like this celebration is like a big deal.
Killian looks around.
Okay.
I think we have to pick one and quick. Any of you magic fucks got a way to send word to the captain quick?
Nope. And leaving pride aside, if we get into a scrap, is everyone okay?
I can handle it.
I'll be fine.
Alright. Just know that I can't pick anyone up if we need to. I'm out of magic.
Hmm.
Thanks for the offer then.
As long as we're aware we're going in. As few risks as possible. So,
It's
we'll head to
preferred.
the influx, let the guard captain know.
No, we're not walking there. I'm writing a note.
You probably would be able to, find a guard with just a few minutes of looking, because with the influx of people, a little extra protection.
Does Lena flash the like rank symbol she has?
She
Does she need to?
the guard you find was kind of like, who are you?
We're doing a job for, as Ariel forgets names.
The
Heck.
captain.
Captain?
Yeah, she would have. Captain Quinn. There it is.
There it is.
Mhm.
Sorry.
We have an urgent message for him. It's related to the kidnapping. He's staying at this manor. That needs to be into his hands as quickly as possible. We need to head north and figure out, follow up another lead.
Roll a persuasion at advantage.
Do.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. Like he seems to, obviously you know a lot of things, so he's like, okay, he trusts you. He takes the note and with a not sprinting, but a quick jog, he takes off to deliver the note.
Yep. And for DM knowledge, note pretty much summarizes what we found out, that the guild is a-okay with us taking down these holdings because they falsified some information, basically the name of the owner, and that maybe he should check out this Oakleaf shop since it's right there and about where we're heading.
Okay.
So yeah.
Easy enough.
And then, should we just head straight up this street to get to Tennyson's Curiosity? Oh wait, his Curiosity's over here. My bad.
Yep.
Yeah, a little jog over.
Killian's still keeping a brisk pace.
You pass by several people coming out of their homes and proceeding to the festival. Doesn't take you ceremony. It doesn't take you too long to get up there. Maybe 10 minutes, if that. Yeah, give or take. I'm bad at that kind of quick math. Anyways, doesn't take you very long to get there. Tennyson's. Okay, so as you approach, it's a very run-down building. Like, seen better days.
Sensing a trend here.
It's similar in design of wood, a little bit of stone here and there as the other buildings, but it needs paint. It needs a little bit of upkeep that it probably hasn't seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Front door is looking in. You can't quite see into the windows as there's stuff in front of it, but you think you can make out some light inside. Just as you're quickly approaching.
Killian
Is the
barges in.
front door locked? All right.
Door is locked, but I mean, yeah, I don't see this door being too much of an issue for you.
Like, he'll knock first.
Yep. Okay. Then another moment,
Does he hear movement?
and then another.
All right, kicking it in.
You kick in the door. Basically falls off the hinges as this place isn't well upkeep. Crashes. You see the inside of the shop. There's a lot of empty shelves, and much like Enidon said, there's a lot of basically random trinkets, little knickknacks, little shell sculptures, random dream catchers, just that kind of weird stuff you'd find from a street vendor. But that's what a shop is based on, apparently. You a candle burning on the table. The candle is almost burnt out, though. There's not much left of it.
Killian stops and listens for a second. Does he hear any movement or sound throughout the building after he's kicked in the door?
Perception check.
Perception check. 11.
Don't really hear anything.
Shield on, sword just on the side of the hilt. Just kind of walking around.
Lander's gonna go straight through and see if there's a back door that we should have circled around to at the beginning.
There is not. A quick once around the shop will reveal that. But do go ahead and give me perception check. That's fine.
15.
As you're making your way around, you hit this one patch of wood that just kind of gives a very subtle creak as you walk over it.
Yep, that was going to be my next question.
Mine
Trap
too.
doors. All right. She's gonna go down, look for a hatch or hinges. If not that, she's gonna pry up a floorboard that creaked.
There's no obvious like hinge or anything, but you do see like this one one of the corners of the board is like broken off enough so that you could probably grab your hand on and pull on it. And doing so quickly, pulls up the whole latch, and it becomes very obvious.
Yep.
And there's this staircase down into the darkness.
Okay.
Oh shit, that really is a front. Just as Killian was glancing around, would he have, just pure curiosity, was there any wolf-themed like random trinket that he came across?
Oh, probably. There's probably like a few painted stones with wolves on them. Probably even like a small wicker wolf.
He'll take one of the stones. Just kind of pocket it.
Crudely drawn, like a child did it.
Is there any nicer ones?
Oh,
In
they're
the-
all pretty much like that.
All right. He'll try to take the more simplistic looking one, such that the poorness doesn't like look too bad.
Definitely.
He kind of like looks at him, takes one, just kind of like sighs, puts it in, knocks something over, and walks over to the trapdoor.
Yep. Okay. All right. Who's
well-
going down?
Lena lights a torch on the candle. Does anybody
Bastion
want to
will.
go before her?
Sure.
Or...
Bastion will cast light on his shield and be ready.
Well, in that case, I don't need the torch, do I? Should put out
Just in case my magic, just in case my magic fails, doesn't hurt.
Okay, easy enough. There's plenty of light. Who's going first?
Killian will go.
Lena right after.
Okay, you make your way down.
He'll try to keep light on his
As
sheet.
you're going.
He's not going to be too loud if he can.
So the first thing you'll notice is that many of them are broken, actually. But you're able to keep an eye on where you're stepping and make it down. It looks like down here. It looks like it's just a storage area. There's a table in the middle of the room. It's one solid room, like 4 walls, no windows. This is underground. There's a bookcase. There's a trunk. Actually, several trunks and boxes of stuff down here. And there's this table in the middle. Right on top of this table is a person.
A person.
Please clarify.
A living person?
Sitting, standing, laying.
Thing on the table.
Okay.
You see a dagger protruding from his chest.
There we go.
Killian's got
Yeah.
his sword in hand and just slowly walks towards it.
Might be best not to touch it, Killian, but be careful.
He'll like tap it with the shield.
Yeah, he appears dead. He looks very dead.
Any details about him?
So it's kind of he's male, human. He's got this kind of scraggly, unkempt hair, but there's a little bit of blood in it now. His mouth's kind of rolled over, open to the side. He can see, he's got a bunch of teeth missing. He looks thoroughly beat up. Much less than nice clothes. Dagger sticking out of his chest.
Right. Okay. Try not to move anything. Do any of you know anything about medicine, human body, able to tell how long he's been dead?
Killian
I
shakes
can
his head.
give it a try.
I think Killian and Bastion both have a good chance of that for very different reasons.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to make a roll. I'm just saying Lena probably not the best choice.
Yeah.
Mm,
No, I mean, Bastion would definitely be first to offer.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
probably.
can't say I'm particularly practiced, but I think if anyone has a chance, it'll be me.
While you're at it, look over what you can see of the dagger. Don't remove it, but see if there's anything that is identifying. I doubt it, since they left
If-
it.
Shoot the wounds
If
oozing
we
poison.
have, if we have 10 minutes or so, I can check it for magic.
Again, I doubt it since they left it. If it was valuable or incriminating, they would have taken it with them. This is a statement.
Okay, what about the
But-
other chests? We can pop these open like nothing, right?
Go ahead. I'm gonna go on upstairs and see if there's anything else to find.
Give a shout if you need it.
So,
I won't.
Bastion will kind of grab onto his holy symbol with guidance as he steps forward and use the light of the shield to kind of examine the body.
I'm gonna give a medicine.
Man, I cannot roll wisdom today.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's reasonable enough. You start to see, you can start seeing patches forming on various parts of his body. Um, rough knowledge, best guess, he's probably been dead, 4-ish hours, around 5 maybe.
Oh, okay.
At least today, though.
Definitely today. He's not any further prodding. You would see that he's not fully stiff yet.
So Bastion will kind of look at it and be like, "This is disturbingly recent. How long did you say all the money got moved?"
He paid off everything a few days ago. However, 4 to 5 hours ago would have been about when the wedding was happening.
That's my concern.
Maybe they had him on a
Uh,
string and decided no loose ends when they did whatever job they did.
Can Bastion focus on the research he's done in religion and see if this could be related to any kind of ritual?
Kind of what?
Any kind of ritual.
Ritual? You can make a religion check.
Alright. And guidance once more, of course, because he is freaked out.
While Bastion examines the blade in the chest, Killian's gonna jam his blade in some chests and pop them open.
Yeah, no, that's a great roll. 23. So there's nothing ritualistic about this at all. It looks like this man was beaten and murdered. Plain and simple. Your way around, and you go to jam your blade into one of the chests, and you realize someone's already beaten you to it.
They're all empty.
This place is actually well rated. Anything left is just more junk that he threw upstairs. He's already been cleaned out. You can give me a perception check though, just to make a thorough look around the room.
12.
No, it looks he got cleaned out, beaten, murdered, and robbed.
Looks like Merc's alright.
If I do a look around upstairs, is there any chance that Lena will come across anything of use to us?
Signs of a struggle, who knows?
Something left behind?
A letter saying, hey, we're gonna come and beat you and murder you and steal your stuff in 3 hours.
Ah,
None of
With
that.
a signed name.
mhm. None of that?
Give me a perception. Just give me a perception check. We'll see.
Alright, nope, nope, nope.
Five.
Nothing.
Fortunately, um, I will say, you do notice on the main desk that he has upstairs, probably where you would purchase goods and stuff. Um, you see kind of this little scrap of paper on the table, and by scrap I mean scrap, like it's like the corner of a paper. Um, like the rest of the paper was torn, and with that, there's like a little indent in the table, like someone jabbed a knife into the table on some paper, and when they removed the paper and the knife, all that was left was kind of little scrap.
All right. Well, okay.
So if we find any documents with a knife through them, they were here at some point, maybe. It's all coming together.
I mean, hey, what do you expect with the 5, guys? Come on.
Um, once we're pretty much done here, Lena's gonna get another note written and sent off to the captain, who is probably dealing with so much right now.
Just find a guard's like, hey, dead body in there. Go find Captain. Pat, pat.
Go find captain, send somebody else to keep an eye on this area and investigate further.
Yep.
I would
Killian and-
say at this point it is probably about 4:30,
Yeah.
almost 5
Night.
Okay.
Okay.
p.m.
Evening.
Okay.
Less than 5 hours since the wedding, guys.
Yep.
Mhm.
Killian walks up. It's like, okay, I doubt anyone's gonna go telling, but nonetheless, we should hurry up and make our way to the other place.
Yeah.
Nothing there. Chests are already raided. Just a bunch of junk. And Bastion, what'd you say about the dead guy?
Today for sure, if not in the past 6 hours.
Boy, seems like we're getting more and more, but we don't know exactly why any of this crap's happening. Just that it is.
At the very
Well,
least,
that's
we
what
can
they-
say that they're not hiding her here.
Yeah.
And hopefully we have something to bring to the detectives. They're used to putting stuff together, we're not.
Let's head to the general store.
Nope. Red Door Antiques is the other one over here.
Oh, is it the right? Okay, is the antiques?
Yeah.
Right, because of
that's
the leaf.
northern.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Let's head to the antiques then.
Yeah.
Glad you got your directions right. Let's go.
Quick jog over there, and you actually catch this lady closing the door and locking up as she's getting ready to leave.
Whoa, hey, miss, you're not
The-
closing this early, are you?
The building is much nicer, well kept up. She locks the door and quickly stuffs the key away, and she's like, "Yes, the ceremonies
Are you the owner of the
start any
store,
minute now.
or are you the owner of the store, or just an employee?
I'm part owner. My family owns it. Yes.
Do the thing with the badge.
Are you aware that the patrons of this store, Brazier Holdings, is under investigation? We've already come across one murder.
I'm not aware of such things. They
You will.
helped fund some repairs many years ago to keep us in business,
You wouldn't want to be implicated, would you?
but nothing wrong.
I think what
Who,
my,
who are you people?
Do the thing with the badge.
She steps
We're-
on his foot.
We're a branch helping out the guards to help with investigation. If you don't mind, my friends are a bit rude sometimes. Could we see some of these investigations? We think there might be something suspicious about them, and we want to make sure that we know it's the reparations that are the issue and not the owner, if that's alright. If not, we can come back tomorrow with a couple guards and we can do a full search, but we figure leave it up, choice up to you.
I do think you should come back tomorrow and with full uniform or a warrant or anything other than being a random group of people on the street.
She'll
You-
do
you
the
must
thing
see
with
how
the
this
freaking
looks.
badge.
She says, "Oh, well, different then, but you must understand. The ceremony is going to begin."
Yes,
Yes,
we're aware that the
you just
timing
needed to
is
show us. Go ahead, sir.
we're aware that the timing is bad. However, we are on a very time-sensitive mission.
Quite frankly, this time of year comes around every year, but not every time someone gets murdered. So maybe reassess your priorities.
Sorry, 1 second, guys.
Mhm.
Ooh. We've got good cop, good cop, actual cop, and bad cop. And in the back, we've got rad cop.
Yeah.
So out of character, just to check, what we're going for here is probably any information she has on the holdings, and also maybe like a sweep of like her basement and
Well,
other
show us where the
areas.
repairs are, because they said they subsidize repairs, right?
Yeah, they might have just paid for it and not actually sent contractors, but if they sent somebody to do the work, then
It's at least worth a check.
Also, if they paid for it, they could have easily sent people who were totally not associated and just
Mhm.
paid them off too.
no, that's what I mean. If they had any choice in who did the repairs, or if they just, put a little money in the bank for her.
Not to say they couldn't easily just like, hey, they'd probably have to run the thing by them if they're like, they'd probably have to tell the people who gave them money what exactly they're spending the money on, and therefore they could maybe go to the construction people and go, hey, here's a bag of gold. I'm gonna send my extra construction guy with you, and you're not gonna have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, we're recording these sessions, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Anything else? Anything else we should be doing here?
Checking for bodies, apparently.
Good point. Maybe check the foundations at some point.
Yeah. I got a
Not right now, though.
canine
That's
unit.
that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
We're looking for immediate stuff.
Killian's right here, man.
Yep. Find out.
He's his own canine unit.
Yeah. It's a long stretch because it's antiques, and they'd be more likely to pick something cheap. But find out if anybody recently bought, or if their holdings partner had to get or take out or whatever.
I get the feeling if
anything like a large chest or other item that a person could conceivably fit in.
I get the feeling that if this lady doesn't have anything to do with it, then the co-owner that she has probably has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I
It
was
just
going to
isn't telling
follow
her.
up on that, but a lot of stuff happened very quickly. I don't know if it's co-owner because it's her and like her husband, her and her family in general.
Either way, that's not impossible that they're just not telling her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Hey.
Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, yes. Urgency of the business. So you can. What do you need? She seems very in a rush, though. Still.
Show us where. Okay, what were the repairs that they subsidized you for?
Was a fire that took out most of, and she turns around and she's like orienting herself, basically the front of the building and the side of the building, and we basically had to rebuild most of it.
And did they could just
Did
give you
they-
the money for it?
There too. Yeah, they offered to fund the repairs, and they own a percentage of the business, so we're losing a little bit of income to that, but at least we're still still operating. We're still bringing in money.
Did they send somebody specific to do the repairs, or was that your choice?
No, we chose. They basically just handed the guild house money in our name and quickly.
I see. So,
Do they ever hand over any kind of product to you, like any furniture, anything?
Oh, they don't. Outside of the current arrangement, they don't do anything for us.
Okay.
So
do
who's
they
your
ever
co-owner then?
purchase any from you?
Not that I would know.
Who's your co-owner
Um,
then?
Would be my husband.
He hasn't recently run into any unexpected funds, has he? Outside of
Oh.
your little deal
If
with.
he has, he better have told me.
Fair enough. Do you mind if we do a quick sweep of the thing? Just a quick walkthrough.
You see, you're kind of looking. You can still see a person here and there making their way out and hurriedly down the street, and she's like, quickly, quickly, and she pulls the key out, unlocks the door, and motions for you all to enter.
Mm-hmm. Yep, very quick sweep of the area, looking for any sort of hidden areas. But yeah.
So perception checks for everyone.
Killian is specifically looking for any weirdness to their stock that they have. Like he's looking through what they're selling.
Okay. Yeah, of course. So
Nope.
you find there's a good chunk of basically pottery, more or less. But you can tell that a lot of this is aged. Like this is probably made, way back when. Like this is actual antique stuff, stuff that you might find in a museum. Actually, it's that old. It it is a majority of it is pottery, dishes, that kind of thing. You do find the occasional basically like furniture, but just wooden furniture, a few metal pieces, just in ornate styles. Obviously it's an antique store, so it has some sort of value to it for its age. Just things like that. Shelves, like they've got some nicer shelves in the back, and there seems to be some necklaces, stuff of perhaps more value than just age.
Anything with a wolf on it.
Make a perception check.
He did
a different one.
He did a different one. All right.
You're specifically looking for wolves now.
This is a real reason he's here.
Yeah, no, nothing that you can see.
This is a taste of what a shopping episode would look like with Killian in it.
You do, the quick rounds. It's not a home storefront, so it's just the store. There's no.
Lena roll?
Yeah, 21.
Oh.
Everyone roll. Yeah, so a quick search around. No trap doors. There is a back room that she, for a brief moment, is like, no, that's fine, whatever, and she'll let you in. There's a desk, and you can see what would be sort of like an office area, probably where they record stuff, maybe where they even do some dating of actually antiquing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's a ledger there, and you can see a bunch of transactions if you'd like, that sort of thing.
Mostly just a quick look through. Make sure that there's nothing hiding anybody, anybody.
The room? Yeah. Nope.
Yeah, no.
Everything appears to be pretty straightforward with what's there.
All right.
No hidden anything.
Oh. Okay.
Is that it?
That is probably going to be it.
You ever have any business interactions with any lits off the 3 other places? The Bloody Nose, the Tennyson's and the Leaf? Something Leaf?
Oakleaf.
Oak Leaf.
Those that go to the Bloody Nose do not have enough money to come here. Oakleaf Shop is not strictly a competitor, but they sell some more modern things that people would prefer. We get some of the nicer clients here. And don't get me started on Tennyson.
Have you ever met
He-
him?
Of course I have. He's a scraggly
Could you-
man.
I was
Yeah, well-
about to ask for a description.
Yes, no. Scraggly man, missing a few teeth. Not wealthy. Best I can put it.
Seem to have issue with them.
You'd be hard pressed to find someone that doesn't.
Well, we're new in town, so why don't you give us a brief summary?
He has borrowed money from many folks, and for one deal or another, you tend to get shafted when you work with him. So,
Are you speaking
Surprised
from
he's even
personal
still in business.
experience here?
my husband unfortunately did some dealings with him. He first got started before Tennyson earned his reputation. Lost a good chunk of money on helping him out. But we recovered, and he not so much.
And if we were to find your husband for further questioning in this whole case, just here tomorrow, or what?
Well, tomorrow's the festival. I don't know that we'll be actually doing much business.
You've got to sleep somewhere, though.
That is creepy.
That really
I-
was.
My point is, you're going to be coming back here at some point.
Look, okay, let's rephrase this. Is there a time and place we could meet with you and your husband?
Us
Yes.
or the guards.
We festival tomorrow. We will typically be at home with family or out with friends, but come Moon Day, we'll be back in business, and you can question us as
Hopefully we'll have this all wrapped up by then. If we don't, it might be unfortunate. Well, thank you for cooperating and for letting us have a look around.
Of course. Now, if you don't mind, I would really like to.
We should
Get to
head
the
back
ceremony.
ourselves.
She'll kind of shoo you all out and lock the door behind her.
Somebody leaving.
And seeing, like, there's no one in the streets at this point, she basically, like, hikes up her dress thing and like, starts taking off running down the street.
Fucking ceremony, festival, all this shit.
What reason do they have to worry?
I don't know, maybe because it's actual crime. Aren't they supposed to go along with you types?
To a point, mostly they do, but there's always a point.
Ash
Look,
bastards.
it-
Where were you next?
If ev-
Go on.
If everybody in the city put their lives on hold every time somebody was wronged, hurt, anything like that, nobody would ever get anything done.
It's not everyone, it's the people who are in direct line of maybe killing a dude.
Did they know that? They might not have.
Maybe we should have
This
Killian starts like walking back towards the captain's place.
Now, it's possible that she or her husband were involved in some way. It's also possible that this holdings front was purely using them and their business to generate some income and some appearance of legitimacy.
Well,
We
I'm not.
didn't. We didn't come across anything to the contrary at any point.
Well, I'm not going to wait for the captain to rally his troops to raid that one place 5 feet from him. Let's go see that. We're out of leads otherwise.
I was on my way there already. Weren't you coming?
He was walking there anyways, too.
Yep,
Didn't,
that was her point.
didn't know if we were going to the captain's or that. As long as we're on the same page. And he takes off jogging.
So,
Okay, guys. Sorry, I'll take the chance. I gotta drop off because
Okay.
I'm dozing off on the analgesic. So
Okay.
I got a week more of this until I can, I think, stand a full session. Sorry, but
No
thanks.
problem.
All right.
Have a good one.
Later.
Let me know
Have a good
what
one.
happens with the last place. Ciao.
Yep.
okay, yeah, so it doesn't take too long. To, the shop, right? You're going straight to the shop.
Yeah, the shop would be on our
It
way
is.
to the manor anyway, so
So it is closed. No
is
lights
closed.
on.
No activity
It's
around
probably
it.
the there are a handful of guards in the area because this is so close to where they've set up shop.
So can we have a sanctioned breaking and entering, or how does this work?
Ask one of the guards.
She
He-
sent
he'd
her
ask-
note. She sent her note like an hour ago, possibly more.
Are the guards
She's gonna-
specifically lined up like outside the place? Like explicitly?
Not specifically, but there is a guard in front of the shop, like
Just gonna
standing in
ask,
front of the door.
Did the captain get my message?
You see him stumble for a bit as he tries to put the pieces together. Yes.
Did the captain send you here? Let's start with that.
Yes, of course.
Have you found anything, or have you just stood here?
We made a full inspection. Didn't find anything out of the ordinary.
All right.
Would you mind if we gave a glance over?
I mean, suppose it's, it's in your authority. He kind of vaguely waves over to Lena.
Making sure I'm not stepping on toes. We'll go and go inside, take a look around, do the check for trapdoors, secret walls, whatever.
Yep, for perception checks.
Ooh, 16. Let's see, what's our
7.
bard? Our bard is a d20 plus 0. Should I just go ahead and...
Sure, go for it.
Our bard is a 3.
There we go.
There it is.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, he's
so
doing a prayer in
that
front of that.
26.
Standard, general goods store. There's one section for like housing, like home
Bastion's eyes light
goods,
up just like.
Shh.
buckets, shovels, dishes.
Whoops.
Hey Nick, how's it going?
There we go. Okay, see ya.
Bye.
It's bye.
Okay. Yeah, dishes. You got one section where there would be baskets of food and stuff, and you still see some like veggies and stuff kind of lingering left over, stuff that can be left out without too much damage. You do once over around the store. Nothing out of the ordinary. No hidden doors. You get to go upstairs. There's kind of like this office and like a private trading area. Best I can explain it. Like there's like a stall inside this room, and you imagine some people can come here to make trade deals and stuff like that.
Like secret
And-
coffee shop or
It the best I can describe it is it's this room with like stalls that like people could come and sell stuff here outside, like from the shop,
Okay.
Flea
but not
market.
sort of. Yeah, sure. There you go. That works. Small room. It only can fit like, maybe 4 or 5 stalls. Just a handful of other people going through.
Gil looks over. Flea market.
But otherwise, this place is clean.
Why is it called a
Bastion
flea
just
market?
thoroughly goes through everything.
Do you think Lana said that? Lana doesn't know what a flea market is.
Oh, okay.
That was Ariel.
Never mind then.
She might know something like farmer's market, but not flea market.
Similar ish.
Is this some sort of peasant joke?
Check him in the teeth.
Ooh. Bastion is saying something.
His eyes are lighting up, and there's just this like, it's like a dot matrix printer coming out of his mouth.
So seems like all is on the up and up from what I can tell. If there's anything here more than what we found previously, I doubt just looking around will reveal it.
Right.
Unless we take a crowbar to the floorboards.
Unfortunately, we have found nothing more than another crime scene to pile on the captain's desk. Hell, paperwork is the worst.
Speak of
Well,
which,
better
should
than
we
him
go
than
ask
me.
him?
Yep.
Flashbacks. So you're going back to the captain?
Yep.
Yep, it's a quick stroll over to the manor. Minute, not even. One of the guards at the front door lets you in. You find your way in, and it is just the captain, sitting at the desk again, going through more papers. A handful more. You can see your letters in and amongst the papers.
What's wrong, Cap? You're not off for the little ceremony?
Too much to be done. We found two bodies,
Two more.
which makes third. So it's 3 bodies so far.
Is that including the groom, or?
4. God damn.
Who and where were those 2 bodies?
Unfortunately, one of my guards was found in an alley. He will he'll clear some stuff off the map that they had on this table, and he says was found in an alleyway about here, give or take, or near-ish, give or take.
Yep, okay.
And then we found another person tucked away in a bush over here.
Over here. So kind of in between houses?
Yeah, like in a bush out back. Yeah, right there. Oh, good, give or take.
Like random civilian person?
Yeah, we haven't yet identified him.
Now, Bastion, you mentioned some shady-looking dude over at a church.
Bloody Nose is number 3 over here, to answer your question there.
So please tell me you have some better news.
Bastion
Civilian
is...
English.
Bastion is...
Yep, waiting to see. They may have got a better look, but a sketchy dwarf who's arguing with the lady in charge of festival tonight. Yep, it's okay.
The priestess. I don't see how she would be involved in this. She's been community for years, but I guess
Well, apparently, Bregier Holdings has been a guild member in good standing for some time as well.
And no one realized the owner of his name was pretty much translated to Mr. Kiss My Ass.
Interesting. And a kind of stuff. Yes. Tell me more about this dwarf.
Should we just say Bastion gives description?
Yes. Sorry. So Bastion mentions that she wasn't reactive to the name of the groom, and Bastion's more concerned about the dwarf, and will give a brief description of the dwarf. And he was nowhere to be found once he entered the house. You see the on his head. Well, I can't say for sure, but that is probably one of our bodies. That is. Are you guys making any sense of this? Because I am at a loss here. We are running around in circles.
I think that's the point.
They
Probably
deliberately set some people up in that bar to be a distraction. It's entirely possible that they set some killers around as distractions as well.
Maybe they loaded up some work they needed to be done. Tennyson needed to be rubbed out, but they never got around to it until now. Stacked up some work they needed done, do it all in one night, have the guards running with chickens with their heads cut off.
Oh, I don't. I've had most of the guard running around all day. I can't keep them all awake. I can keep several of them on for a few more hours, but we're gonna have to switch to the next shift, and it's a much lighter crew.
There isn't anything you're not telling
Maybe
us here, is there, Captain?
No, I all the he kind of holds out his hands to all the papers. We've gone through descriptions of what these thugs look like. We've talked to a whole bunch of people, taken notes of anything that looked odd or off or funny, and all of it's adding up to nothing.
Can I give a quick insight on that? That he doesn't have anything else
Sure.
he's not telling us? 6. Fuck me. Why am I trying to roll today?
Bastion, maybe the killings are connected though, either locationally or if there's something behind them. Why have the owner of the business you fund killed? Why sacrifice a bar's worth of men to be arrested? I think we should be a little cautious about this festival going on, as they seem to have a sense of
Drama.
Where's this place gonna be centered on? This little gathering that's going on here.
ceremony. Yeah, there's actually it's going to be described it as taking place in this little side one,
This graveyard.
side graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
Whereabouts? Sorry.
Graveyard.
The side graveyard.
Oh, down there. Okay.
Right. One thing. If a thug was arguing with the priestess of a temple dedicated to death, the passing,
The priest is apparently in
interment.
charge of this whole thing, or at least
Hold.
a part of it.
I was going to a point. How easy or how difficult would it be to move a person in something like a coffin?
I mean, I'm sure you may have passed by a couple of them. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay. Is anybody else kind of following the thought that maybe is there any chance that the Temple of Death might have a little bit of like little morgue in the back or something?
Yeah, I'm in part. Yeah, I'm just mainly wondering, like, that lady's got to have something to do with this.
Yep.
Whether
She's out of her
she's-
house.
Yeah, whether
She's gonna
she's
be-
willing or not, or knowing or
She could-
not.
She could be coerced or something. But yeah. Yeah. I feel like we should check out this festival, but I feel like we should first actually get into that temple and house
Yeah.
and do a sweep of it front to back.
Yeah, I was about to say too, and get a warrant on that.
Yep, well, she's presumably out doing the ceremony. And then if we don't find anything immediately, head to said ceremony.
Is there anywhere else that would be like assuming there's going to be something happening at the ceremony?
Mhm.
That's going to be a lot of guards in one spot.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any place that would be really good that it isn't one of the main exits? Because there's always going to be guards at the main exits.
The river, again.
Yeah.
No gates there.
Okay, I'm back.
I will say underground route is reasonable, but it's also like such a pain in the ass to actually know about. I feel like we're not really worth looking down that unless we like have a location in mind. Because they could have an underground tunnel like anywhere, whereas the river is one particular place.
Oh, underground is in Black Market. Well, that could technically be anywhere as well.
The church is right by the wall.
I mean, okay, I've been imagining the church is that little, like...
Not church, sorry, graveyard. Graveyard.
Yeah. Okay.
18 is the church that you were
18
at.
is the
or
church.
that-
Well, is there a church at the graveyard?
There
Like,
is
what's the
a-
building?
Yeah, there is a churchish building there too.
Yeah,
Yes.
the graveyard church is right by the wall.
Yeah. Anyhow, what we want to do, I think, is to go and investigate church while everybody's presumably out. Do a sweep through that, see if there's like some kind of morgue area, anything in the back someone might be stashed, and then immediately proceed down, if we don't find anything, to the ceremony and see what's happening there.
Shove our way through the crowds and get to the back.
I mean, Bastion and Nemia did a kind of basic look through while they were there.
They stepped into the main part of the chapel and then pretty much immediately left without going any further. I want to know if there are back rooms and go through the house.
Bastion went into the main house.
Did he?
He went into the main house, and then she took him to the chapel through the door from the house to the chapel. He didn't see like her private bedroom, and if there was any other room, but he saw most of the house otherwise.
But he didn't like check under any rugs or anything, did he?
No,
It might be
that would
worth,
have looked weird.
it might be worth sending a guard that way, maybe. To look through, and maybe we go right to the graveyard.
Yeah.
To you.
Okay, willing to delegate. Let's suggest that to the captain if he wants to send anybody or can send anybody to check that out a little more thoroughly, see if there's any connections.
It's
Let
like,
him.
sure, I can do that. And he goes to raise a hand and realizes that none of his like main people are there. He's like,
Should we send word on the way
Like-
out?
yeah, please tell one of the guards at the front.
All right, we're going down to the ceremony. We're going to see if anything is up there.
Like we said, keep in mind that it's pretty damn close to the wall.
Yes. I can send a few more. We have a handful of people there already, since just with the gathering of people. So we'll send some more to keep an eye on things.
Just let them know to maybe do a sweep around the back now and again if they can.
Sounds good.
This is our best bet right now.
It's of course, given the events of today, could just be another dead end, another running around in a circle.
Oh, but I'm hoping that... I almost want it to be so that when we eventually find the proper end of this, I can really lay into the bastards.
I like that. All right, well, hurry up.
Yep.
longer it takes, the more likely we won't find her.
We head out, and as we do, Lena tells Killian, "It figures you'd be enjoying this. Dogs do enjoy chasing their own tails."
I mean, depends on what kind of dog, doesn't it? He kind of like gives a glance over. Some get let off the leash. You know?
Oh, would that be you?
I've heard of military dogs before.
All right. You can let the guard know as you exit, and he'll gather some people up.
And I've heard of pampered house pets. Still wearing your jeweled collar. And this is as we're heading to the thing. So,
Just slinging insults back and forth at each other. Yeah.
Sure got that holier than thou attitude even more now, huh?
So, after a time, you're able to approach the the graveyard. By the time you get there, you do see a couple of people walking away. As the holiest of thou, can y'all stop bickering?
Killian laughs at the idea that he's holy. Look, buddy, I don't know how many extra stabs you got at the wedding, but you're not that holy.
So, you see some people leaving already, as it's probably only maybe 5:30 by this point. But you do see a large crowd of people still hanging around. Many of them bent over at like offerings or giving offerings at various graves. There's a handful of people over in the main graveyard as well, but it seems like a lot of the newer people, newly deceased people, or more recently deceased, are in this smaller one. And you see the high priestess she's going amongst the graves and offering up a word for everyone. You see lots of torches and stuff lit around. There was a big event here, and this is kind of just the afterward, the personal moments.
Keep an eye out for that crummy merc description. They seem to have a theme going.
These all look like your average town folk. Yep. What do you do?
Should we make our way to the big church or what?
I'm gonna go find out, ask if during this ceremony any new interments are often done. You know,
Any
just
issues
as a
had here?
thing. No, not issues. Basically, is it at all customary, given the flavor of the ceremony and the symbolism and all that, for people to be like, yeah, we want to hold our burial on this day during this?
Interments, okay.
Yes.
I heard internments.
Who do you?
Probably the priestess. She would know.
Yep, you can approach the priestess. She'll recognize Bastion and give kind of a nod. Glad you decided to attend. You can say your farewells. I know.
Oh, Bastion wanted to enter the chapel first, if at all possible.
Oh,
so we might have left him behind.
Chapel is in part of her house, or chapel is in part of the graveyard? It's mentioning it. Okay.
So this might have been before we're talking to the lady then.
That's just to make sure nothing's changed.
You guys did tell a guard to go do that?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's...
Honestly, Elena's not going to stop for that.
Okay. Yep, okay. That's cleared up. Yeah, so, Bastion, or the priestess, says, I know, unfortunately, he's not been laid to rest yet. We don't typically on this day, but tomorrow you can find his gravesite here after we hold ceremony. Please feel free to talk to people, to learn about one another, and to share in the passing of the night.
Can I have DM clarification on a thing? Or can I clarify? I wasn't asking specifically about character name, NPC name. I wasn't asking specifically that. I was asking in general if there would have been any burials on this day. At this ceremony.
I kind of wove that in there. She brought it up because, she knows Bastion's friend Alan was killed today.
Mm-hmm.
We don't typically do any burials on this day.
Okay.
For example, but
Okay. I missed the first typically part. I thought she avoided that.
Yeah, no. So
Okay.
there has been no burials today.
Got it. Okay, good.
like we'll kind of like lean over to Lane and say, "Do you want to ask the guard, see if there's anything that happened on their radar?"
What's a radar?
Listen here, Ariel.
I'm well aware. Don't worry. No. It's translated. Yeah.
Have they noticed
Lena
anything?
Lena will go around and just kind of casually check up on the various guards here.
Yep, you get a full description of the events of the ceremony. Tell you, nothing out of the ordinary happened. They kept an eye on folks, and most people who showed up are still here or have left. Nothing stands out.
Great.
All right, Gillian's heading to the. Actually, he'll just ask. Like, I'm heading to the big place. You guys want to go?
Big place.
He points to the church.
The one on
In the graveyard.
ceremony? In the
In
graveyard.
the middle. Yeah, in the
Okay.
middle of the
All right, let's go.
Yeah, you make your way over. You go through the crowds of people offering their. You can say this to the priestess. Unfortunately, you guys missed it with all your adventures. It was quick and quiet.
Very amazing. A church service that's over in under an hour.
Well, the thing is, people want to be here, so.
Yep, but you can make your way through the people and to the the main building in this graveyard. You make your way inside. There is a bunch of people here, kind of just sitting in prayer, in silence, in reflection. It's similar in nature to the one that's attached to the priestess's house,
Just bigger.
but it's bigger and it's more or less this is not dedicated to anyone. This is strictly, you perform last rites here. You the body ready and you bury it.
Generic church.jpg.
And you can have a service here if you'd like. Yeah.
Someone's breathing in their mic. Killen's gonna just give a glance around, see if there's are there any I guess weird coffins or any guys you see that go, hey, they don't look like clerical types, or
Make a perception check.
anything that catches his eye with his not great bonus to perception and terrible rolling as of late. Perception. 13.
Yeah. Most of the people here look like townsfolk. There's not some official priest or priestess leading anything, as you saw the priestess out and amongst the people. there's not anything out right now. Person that's been deceased or recently deceased has been laid to rest in the ground or interred or some form of that. There's no one out right now. So it's more so just people gathered in pews, basically in prayer.
And there's
And
no
there's
guy.
no one out of
Okay.
no.
There's no.
There's no.
There's no guy
Hey,
in a
I'm an
hood
Ash
in
gang
in
member
a
right here.
in like
Yeah.
leather in the corner spinning a knife. uh, all right.
Seems
Bunch
to
of
be going on.
fucking nothing.
After all your investigations and events of the day, it's probably getting to be 6:30.
I was gonna say, Killian will like walk up to an altar or something. It's kind of like hands into the pockets, and just kind of look up. It's like, hey Odin, if you want to send some of your fucking birds down my way to help me out, that'd be great.
Okay. Say this obnoxiously loud or
No, this
actually-
is in his head.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Just had to clarify that. Nothing comes to you.
He just kind of stands there for a sec. Turns around.
Lena's probably also closed her eyes and did a similar but maybe a little more respectful prayer along similar lines. But I doubt there's anything, so.
After a moment, if like Lena like takes a step back too, he's just like, is that how you recharge your thing you do, or what?
Does a what?
Is that how you recharge the thing you do?
We don't talk about the thing I do.
I didn't mention it explicitly, don't worry.
Also, no.
It just seems we're in the place for it, is all.
Not really.
Look, it's certainly more up there than down here, okay? Leave it at that.
By this time, the sun is set. There's plenty of torches set up around. Everything's well lit. Bastion makes a snarky comment about asking them to leave so we can pray.
They would have.
Yep.
They took a step back.
They'll go
Um,
outside.
The sun has set.
Bastion
there's
doesn't
not-
see it, but Killy makes a rude gesture in his direction.
Doesn't appear to be any current leads at the moment. Group is still fairly hurt from the events of the day.
Ken's gonna make a quick sweep around the back if he can, like around
Sure.
the back of the wall of the graveyard. See if anyone wants to come with them.
Lana will do a wander in the opposite direction.
Meet in the middle kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just perception checks.
Right. Waiting for the
Nope.
perception. Hey, it's about
That's a good one. You're going around the back of the building, the back of the graveyard.
yes.
Both.
If
Okay.
there's any exit near the back, if that little gap in there is worth anything.
Yes, there's the main entrance up top, and then there's a little side entrance there.
Yeah, so
Yeah, you could.
he'll kind of do like one of these dealies if he
Yeah, that
can.
makes sense. Okay. So you take a good look around. You see a lot of newer, be like newer in the last few years, tombstones around the temple church thing. As you make your way, you do see some older stuff towards the sides. You make your way out the gate and around, looking between here and the wall, the outer wall of the city,
Is there any,
just
like,
looking for anything.
is there any like above ground like coffins or tombs or anything?
There are a handful, yes, you can see from the map. Yes, there's a handful of those.
Any that
Most ones, it does not look like they've been put there. Like they've been there a long time. You can tell.
no movement of moss or scrapings or anything?
Nope. Yeah, no, you could easily do just a quick but respectful look through them.
He flips them open to
And-
check.
Yeah. Dear God. No, unfortunately, you don't really. Nothing stands out to you to suggest where she could be, or where she could be taken, or anything about this place that might suggest it is anything other than it is.
As they meet up the middle, and he's just like, "Do you actually look? You look like you're staring off into space.
What?
We're supposed to be looking, going around."
No, I didn't find anything.
You okay?
Emia
Oh.
will chime in. You might be getting tired there. It's starting to get into the night.
I didn't hit you too hard the other day, did I?
No, that was nothing.
There's the life pack.
I just hoped that we'd conclude this today.
You're not the only one. When I get my fucking hands on him.
Priority 1 is finding her and getting her to safety.
All right.
Priority 2 is
With a-
tearing them apart.
Yes.
At least you can agree on something, Emia will say.
Skull speaks true, though. We can't be running out all night.
No.
So we turn in early and get an early start.
Then maybe we should go wandering through alleyways and hopefully they'll try to kill us and then we can bring those guys in.
I think that's last resort. That's what we'll do tomorrow night if we don't pull up any leads at all.
Sounds like a plan.
Right. I'm going to check in one last time with Quinn, and then I'll head back to the inn. You guys don't have to come with me if you don't want to.
Why not? I like the guy.
We'll let Bastian know where we're heading if he wants to spend more time here.
How about Nemia, you go tell Bastion. We'll meet you back at the place.
Yeah, that
She will
works.
do so.
Since
And do their
Nemia isn't really here and Bastion is through
Yeah.
text.
Yep, gonna see if he has anything to type, if he's
Add,
just
yes.
finishing up.
Otherwise, everyone can conclude their final events for the day and turn in a bit early after perhaps some dinner in the morning. I'm sure in your. I'm sure. Oh, okay.
All right.
Work. And obviously the guards are informed to get you if anything is to happen in the night.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna call it.
All right. Can we assume a long rest, or do you want us to wait until next time?
That's fine.
Okay. Oh boy.
If we're turning in for the evening, we might have a bit of time to talk in the afternoon or morning. You never know. Just wake up in the
Alright,
morning.
guys.
Show what was your relationship with your father like?
Jeez.
A bit deep for day one here.
I know. I'm just like we're desperate for backstory. We just get right into it as soon as we get the chance.
Right, okay, everybody. Daddy issues on the table. Let's go.
Up front, get it out of the way.
All right.
Okay,
Alright,
well,
Let me know if you guys have any questions.
okay.
stop the recording until next time.